Some extended thoughts after the weekend's events, particularly in the UK. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Anthony Joshua, new world heavyweight champion. Congrats to him. But on a side note, there's been obviously rumors that Shannon Briggs will be on the undercard of David Haye versus Arnold Jar Jar. And I mean, they've been saying that Shannon Briggs will actually face David Haye next should he come through and should Haye come through. Obviously, they clashed at the press conference and whatnot, and Briggs was, doing his usual "Let's go, champ," and Hay was getting very agitated, very annoyed, saying "Let's go, champ. You need a brain scan and all this," and yeah, it was a bit farcical at times, but of course it builds the fight. Two big names in the heavyweight division. Of course, after Joshua winning, it's a potential opponent for AJ. And yeah, Parker's also been talking a bit this week as well after the AJ win. So and Fury, of course. So this is kind of like a heavyweight roundup in terms of slight news. Of course, so we'll start with Briggs and Hay. As I said, there's been rumored that they're going to be facing each other next after their respective next fights. I'd expect Hay to win by brutal KO. Hayes just too fast, too skilled, and too fresh. I think for someone like Shannon Briggs, who's 44, he's in tremendous shape. I do know that he always says that, but for me, I just think Hayes a level above at this moment in time as well. Uh, so that's that out the way. I mean, Hay could build towards a potential domestic opponent and or potential world title shot. Deontay Wilder, Povetkin is coming up soon. AJ is the new world heavyweight champion. Tyson Fury, I don't think is going to fight him. Uh, Lucas Brown's the WBA regular champion. So there's a bit of options there. There's a few options there definitely. He could fight a few people here and there, but we'll see where Hay goes from here and Briggs as well. But definitely both characters are very very entertaining. To be fair. Um, Fury's obviously been saying AJ's look ponderous, he's look slow, whatnot. I'll do a number on him. And AJ's obviously retorted and said that I'll walk through Tyson Fury, he's not a big deal, whatnot. At this moment in time, I'd actually pick Fury pretty comfortably. I think Fury could just box his ears off for the full 12. Don't get me wrong. AJ has the power to end the fight at any given moment, but I think Fury is very, very, very skilled. Especially the things he was doing in the Vladimir Klitschko win. It was the small subtleties were enormous in his game. They're very, very highly skilled, and I'd give him a really good chance to beat AJ. Wouldn't count AJ out of the fight, but for me, defensively, he still gets caught a fair bit. For me, against Charles Martin didn't really throw much, so we couldn't really see anything. But against White, of course, and a few other opponents, he has been tagged a fair few times. Jason Gavin caught him a few times as well. But AJ is improving. He's got plenty of time. He's only 26 and he's a world champion, 16 fights. So he's got plenty of time to improve. I'd give him a better chance if he was to face Fury, maybe next year or the next year or in 18 months. At this moment in time, I can't really see AJ beating Fury. Um, of course, Fury Klitschko is on July 9th in Manchester. Loads of people speculating that probably won't happen. So that's a big toss up, and that's in the air as well. If AJ can get Wembley date, possibly it might be against Fury, sell out as well. I wouldn't really want that at the moment for AJ. Don't think it's a good fight for him. And he's making money regardless. He's making a load of money fighting not the biggest of names, and he's winning. So keep he could keep it going for a good couple of fights. And if Parker wins, that would be another big fight as well. If Parker comes over to the UK, obviously Parker to Cam is next month as well. So there's a potential fight there as well. Parker's obviously been saying Charles Martin didn't really want to get up and he lacked a bit of heart, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I can agree with Parker in that respect, but For me, Parker needs to concentrate on his own fights and not look too far ahead towards a potential AJ clash. I know that's a really good fight. I've always actually picked Parker to beat AJ. It's a very very tight fight on the basis of how he looked against how AJ looked in his last fight and how Parker looked against Jason Bergman and a few fights as well before that. I'd actually be inclined to go with AJ at this moment in time. I think Parker can cause him a fair few problems, but at this moment in time, defensively, I think Joseph Parker's inept. He was getting caught a lot by Jason Bergman, who's the 11th best southpaw in the world, probably the outside the top 100 in terms of heavyweights. So I mean, he really did struggle. He didn't struggle, but he didn't look as good as he should have. And against AJ, possibly with AJ's confidence sky high, you know, he's been linked with the top opponents. He wants to prove himself. I think AJ will be a bit too much for Parker at this moment in time. It might change by the time the mandatory does come around next year. If it does come around next year, same time, it might come in January, but it might come in May, depending on how the IBF want to structure their mandatory. And I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the heavyweight division. Obviously the Lucas Brown scandal has been ongoing, and there's been obviously David Haye, Shannon Briggs, Fury, Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, and Povetkin's actually kind of slipped under the radar a bit. Um, you know, that's another good fight. As I said, I keep changing my mind on that. I'm 50-50 at the moment on that. I did say Wilder before, I did say Povetkin before that. So 50-50, I'm right on the fence on that. There's that's as I said, AJ. I don't think he should go against the Luis Ortiz's, the Alexander Povetkins, the Furies, the Klitschko's, the Hayes. I'd still give him a decent chance against Haye. Haye becomes, low volume, low output against the much taller man, and people say he has chin problems and that sort of stuff. He did take a fair few flush hits from Klitschko, so I don't really agree with that. But we never know, and him versus Haye versus Joshua would be fascinating, as would Haye versus Fury, or even Haye versus AJ versus Fury. Very interesting fights, as I said on Boxing Gossip's live show. I do think AJ will actually face David Price very soon. If Chisora wins against Kubrat Pulev, that could be a potential fight as well. Pulev might be a potential opponent. Stiverne is also there. There's a lot of potential there, and I think just allow him to grow. Eddie Hearn's done a good job of him thus far. He's guided him to a world title, so can't really complain too much. Um, you know, Let me know your thoughts on all of the recent things that have been going on in the heavyweight division. Also, Robert Helenius, brutal knockout against Johan Depar. So there's been a lot of different things. Eric Molina against Thomas Adamek. So let me know your thoughts on the recent heavyweight news after the weekend, especially. Have your thoughts changed on any potential big fights, i.e. Parker Joshua or you know AJ Haye? So let me know your thought. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. If you like the video, please give the thumbs up. Um, Let me know your thoughts as I said. Subscribe and share so it gets out to a larger boxing audience. And yeah, anything else? PM me, tweet me, and we can go back and forth and talk about it in a bit of detail or just briefly if you want that. And yeah, take care and peace.